Hi, I'm Chris with CaseMaster. Today we'll be going over running a client remittance in CaseMaster Online. Before we begin, we should be very familiar with our client codes and client settings, which are discussed in detail in the client settings video. We should also understand how our contingency rates work at the account, file, and client level, and remittance type, net or gross, affect the remittance calculations, and how the check format, combined or separate, and invoice format affect the checks and bills. Finally, we should understand how legal accounting works and the terminology involved with it. Okay, let's get started. I'm logged into a demo database in version 1.2 of the application, so it probably looks a little different from yours, but the same features should apply. There are 3 steps to the remittance process: running the initial remit report for verification purposes, running the final remit, and then printing the remittance checks. We'll navigate to Accounting, Remittance. Keep in mind that these instructions are also found by clicking the Help icon on this page. We'll start by running our initial remit report. We can remit on one or more clients or on a single case file number. We can select our clients by clicking the checkbox next to their name, or by clicking the Select All button for all clients. We can also search for the client code by using the search box. If we wanted to remit on a single file, we would just enter the file number under the remittance options. We'll select our client code and review the other remittance options. The Forecast Report As Of field allows us to enter a future date to forecast our remit report based on the number of days that the system holds checks for. This is useful to project how much you will be remitting at a certain time in the future. The Do Not Create Checks Bills During Remit option is used during a final remit, and only if we don't want checks or bills automatically created based on the remittance calculations. This is useful if you're remitting only on direct payments. The Remit All Payments Through field allows us to enter a date that the system will use during the remittance. It will include all payments up to that date, regardless of any holds that we have set up on the checks and other payment types. The final remit option should not be selected until we have previewed the reports and verified all payments are ready to remit on. We will discuss this more later. Once we have made our selections, we'll click the Run Remit button. A message will appear notifying us that the remittance job has started and appears in the bottom grid. While the remittance runs, we can work on something else and come back later if it's a large remit. Once the remit is complete, the status will change from processing to completed. We can view the log by clicking View Log to make sure that there are no issues with the remit. We can then click View Report to see the remit report that was created. A remit report will display in a new tab. Once we verify the report totals and are ready to post it, we can rerun the remit, but make sure that the final remit box is checked. The final remit will cycle through each file, entering remit checks and billing, and updating transactions with a remit date, cost remitted amount, and fees calculated amount. We can see these changes by looking at one of the files on the report and navigate to Case File, Financial, Checks. to see the remittance checks, case file financial billing to see any bills created, and case file financial transactions to see the changes to each transaction included on the report. Note the remit date, fees calculated, and cost remitted. Our final step is printing the remittance checks. We'll navigate to Accounting, Checks, Print Checks. Keep in mind that these instructions are also found by clicking the Help icon on this page. We'll select our bank account from the drop-down list and can change the check date if needed. The next check number will auto-populate in the check number field box. If we wish to use a different check number, we can change it as needed. Next, we'll click Select to open a window listing all pending check requests. Please note that our remit checks are coded as type RM and code NM. The attorney fee checks are coded as type AF and code CT. To select the checks to print, we can either click the checkbox on them individually or use the Select All button. Note that if you click Select All while the screen is filtered, like so, it will only select the filtered records. We'll print only the remittance checks for now, but we would follow the same process for fee checks. We'll filter for RM, Will 210, click Select All, and then click OK. We next click Print. Our remittance checks open in a new window, one with our checks and another with the combined check report. We can print or download the checks and reports as needed. If there's an issue with the checks, we can click No to finalize and make any adjustments as needed. If everything looks correct and printed OK, we can click Yes to finalize the checks, removing them from the queue. And that wraps up this video. As always, if you have additional questions, feel free to contact us through the contact support icon in the application or through our website. Thanks and have a great day.